Today at home garden expert Tammy Algood shows us how to grow, harvest, and use basil for great pestos. Tool specialist Leon Frechette shows us the versatility of the reciprocating saw. And Linda Lee, owner of the sewing workshop in San Francisco, shows us how to make a ruffled trunk skirt using an easy ruffling technique. Edye Ellis, welcome to the show. Basil is the one herb most people know because most of us have had a dish made with something called pesto. Well, our home garden expert Tammy Algood is here to tell us all about basil and some other herbs we might not know quite as well. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Edie.
Yeah, and of course there are lots of varieties of basil, aren't there?
That's right. There's over 60 varieties to choose from.
60? I didn't know that.
Mainly we concentrate on sweet basil here in this country, which is the base of all pesto.
Okay, and you're going to make some pestos, a lot of varieties that we should look at, because boy, they really are. There are a lot of them that you can make.
It's very easy to freeze, and that's what we're going to concentrate on doing today. Is harvesting from our herbs and freezing some pestos for later use.
Okay, but we're going to start with the real live plants.
Exactly, and this is the sweet basil I was telling you about. This one I've been snipping on for about 2 years.
Really?
And you can see how it just kind of bushes out when you do that. That's what you want it to do.
Okay, so the more you snip it, the more it's going to grow.
That's exactly right. Now you can use a lot of different things in your pestos. Here's some parsley that you can use.
All right.
And that makes a nice pesto. You can see that it's got little dead yellowing leaves in here. No problem with that. Just pull those out.
Okay.
No problem.
All right.
Then we're going to go over here to oregano. This makes a nice pesto also. Now, Edie, here's a problem. See these little flowers that you've got that are coming up on this oregano?
Right.
You don't want that.
Oh.
You're going to pinch that off.
Okay, take those flowers off.
Now, the reason you do that is when it flowers, that forces the plant to think about reproduction.
Okay.
So it wants to go to seed. So it starts to die along the leaves, and it feeds the flower.
Okay. Now, do I have to throw those flowers away, or can I put them in vinegar, or can I do?
Well, you can eat them. They're fine to eat. They've got little bitty tiny flowers, and you can sprinkle them on as a garnish. They're fine to eat.
Oh, great. Just don't put them in your pesto.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And then we've got rosemary. That's another nice alternative to use
really is
here.
Such a nice aroma.
Isn't that a pretty plant? And then we've got another parsley here, Italian parsley.
Okay.
And this makes a nice pesto also. All of these you can grow in a sunny window.
Right. And you can combine all of these with basil to make different kinds of pesto.
That's right.
Oh, that's a good idea. I don't know that I ever knew that.
And what we're going to do, Edie, let me show you how to start this in a sunny window. Okay. You need full sun.
All right.
Now basil's interesting. Here's some seeds of the sweet basil I was telling you about.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to mist this pot just a little bit. You always want to start out with the dirt wet.
Okay.
And then we're going to add our seeds on here. They're very tiny. All right. And then mash them down in there just a bit.
Okay.
You know, in Italy, basil is a symbol of love. But in Greece, it's a symbol of hate. So you either love it or hate it.
You either push those down harshly or very gently, depending upon...
That's right. Then we're going to mist it again, and there it goes in your sunny window, and you're ready to go.
Simple enough. And how long before I'm actually going to see some grow?
You're actually going to start to see it in a couple of weeks. And if you've gotten the seeds too thick, you need to thin that out a little bit. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Now, when you've got a whole lot of basil growing, or any herb really, there's a good way to store it. Here is how we're going to store it. You do it just like a bouquet. Yeah. You're going to put it in some water, just like this.
All right.
And do not put it in the refrigerator. Herbs act like bananas when you store them this way. They'll start to turn black. So you want to leave this at room temperature when you've got them submerged in water.
So don't put them in the refrigerator. I think most of us, of course, put them in water, put them in the refrigerator.
Well,
don't do that.
That's right. Don't do it for this kind. But now for this storage method, we've got some purple basil here.
Yes, that's very pretty.
And we're going to wrap this in just a wet or actually damp paper towel, and put this in a plastic bag, and this is the kind that you put in the refrigerator.
I think I was telling you that I bought this spring for the first time something called African blue basil.
Yes.
It just took over my herb garden, and it's got a very pungent taste, much stronger than the other basils.
And if you keep it snipped off with the flowers, it will act like a perennial. So it'll keep going and keep going. So as long as you keep it pinched back and don't let it flower, it'll behave just like a perennial.
I have a lot of work to do when I
you do. A lot of pulling to do, right? Now let's make some basil, Edie. We've got half basil and half parsley in this, and that kind of cuts the taste a little bit because it can tend to get overwhelming if you've got a whole lot of basil in there. Let me just pulse that just a little bit.
So we're going to make the pesto. We've got parsley and our basil.
Half and half. Okay, then we're going to add some Parmesan cheese to this.
Great.
Okay, this already fresh shredded Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
A couple of cloves of fresh garlic.
And if you like more garlic, you can add a little more.
That's exactly right. We're going to add some pine nuts. Now, pine nuts are actually not nuts. They're seeds of a pine tree.
Any need to roast those before we add it, or can we just use them?
Oh,
we have toasted them.
That's a good point.
I just wondered if you could do it.
Good point. And then we're going to add olive oil. Now, we're adding about half of what the recipe originally called for. It freezes better that way. If you've got a lot of oil in there, it'll tend to separate when you freeze it. So what you need to do is just add about half of it and then toss the pasta with the rest of the olive oil when you get ready to serve it.
Oh, that's a great tip.
Now we're just going to pulse that a little bit. Grind that all up. And now you can eat this now. And that's what we've done right here, or you can freeze it for later. See how pretty this looks?
It's beautiful. I mean, it looks delicious. I love pesto on pasta. It's really great.
It smells so good.
Oh, it really does. And there are lots of other things you could actually use pesto for. I mean, you can put it in other dishes.
Spread it on crusty bread, and I mean, put it on tomatoes. There's lots of things you can do with it.
All right. Thank you very much, Tammy.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but boy, I have to prune that basil when I get home. Stay with us. Tool specialist Leon Frechette shows us the versatility of the reciprocating saw.